Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our commission meeting Monday, June 23rd, 2025. The time is now 6:07. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Bass.
Here.
Commissioner Irvin.
Here.
Vice Mayor Kelly.
Present.
Commissioner Santiago.
Here.
Mayor Taylor.
Here. As we stand for our invocation. God, we thank you for bringing us together one more time in your name. We ask that you allow us to do your will for your people, God, and we ask that you remember the family of our resident, Mr. King, who lost his life in a tragic accident. And we believe you that you will comfort his family. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Who is that king?
A little bit.
Who is that?
And I just want to say, we just want to keep that young child in our prayers. His name was King, and he passed away. So we ask that you keep his family, his mother, and ask God to give them strength in this time. So as we move on to Madam Clerk, do we have any awards, proclamations, or acknowledgements at this time?
No, Mr. Mayor.
All right, moving on to our consent agenda. Do we have any pulls, deletions, or deferrals at this time?
Mr. Mayor,
Vice Mayor Kelly?
yes, I'm gonna pull number 6 and 7.
All right, any other pulls, deletions, or deferrals at this time? Hearing none. Can I get a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Bass.
Again.
Second by Commissioner Santiago. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Irvin.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago.
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, can I get approval of the agenda for tonight? A motion to approve the agenda for tonight?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Santiago, second by Commissioner Irvin. Madam Clerk?
Vice Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago.
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, we're going into the approval of minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the workshop meeting minutes, May 28th, 2025?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Bass,
Second.
second by Commissioner Irvin. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Santiago.
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the workshop meeting minutes,
it.
June 5th, 2025? It was so moved by Vice Mayor Kelly. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Bass. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Approval of a motion to approve the minutes from the regular commission meeting minutes to June 11th, 2025. Moved by Vice Mayor Kelly,
Second.
second by Commissioner Irvin. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Irvin.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago.
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, do we have any District 1, District 2, or state reports at this time, Madam Clerk?
No, Mr. Mayor.
All right, I do see we have two public presentations. The first one is by Ms. Janice Smith, Project Manager for Art Prevails Project Nonprofit, subject storied where art, legacy, and community converge. Ms. Smith, you have the floor. Okay, moving on to our second public presentation by, I don't want to screw this name up, Ms. Fuentes.
It's all right.
Little leg.
Lumi Fuentes.
You have
How's
the
everyone today?
Good on your side.
Good
Thank
to
you guys for having us present the master plan. It's been a bit. We're getting there. Presentation going to be pulled up. So you guys have copies out there. I know there's some dark, some things kind of in the dark here and on the computer, but anybody in the public, there's a couple copies up front. You're more than welcome to grab some and follow along. Okay. All right. So this is just kind of the Parks and Recreation Master Plan, a process we kind of started probably about 2 years back. It's been more of a conducive process and analysis of all your parks, your open spaces, your programs, include and your services provided by the city. We started kind of with meeting with the commissioners, as well as your park leadership, with your goals and objectives and setting that. We took a look at the demographics and got to know of the city a bit more. We looked at your parks and facilities and programs inventory. We looked at the levels of service. We did online public surveys as well as workshops. Went to our draft recreation program, and then now we're at the draft parks and recreation plan, master plan, where we're kind of presenting some of these information. So I'll run through the couple first slides a bit quicker, as where some of this information might be a bit repetitive to our residents that are very familiar with our parks as well. But one key thing when we were looking at the demographics of Opa-locka was that our population, while right now we have a younger population, being more of the 16% currently at like 2020 census, we look at 2035, you see that there's a shift, and our older population of 70 plus is really growing to that 15%. So what this kind of means is that we got to really take a look at what programs we're offering to our senior citizens, and making sure we're diversified in that as well, planning for that. As you could see, this is kind of a map of our city, highlighting our parks and open spaces: Ingram Park, Sherbondi Park, Seagull Park, Kaboom, CAC, Magnolia North Park, our Butterfly Prayer Park, our Timothy Holmes Park or open space, the Peace Park, which is really an open space, as well as kind of a transition of one of your gateway open spaces that you have at the Opa-locka, and then your Coachman Garden Canal Park as well, which is considered really an open space on that. Some of these highlights too, your great indoor facilities like um, your Sherbondi Village Community Center, as well as your Helen Miller Community Center at Seagull Park, the Timothy Holmes Community Center at Glorieta Apartments, as well as our Ingram Park, which is currently closed, our Senior Citizens Community Center. And just to highlight some of the images and inventory that we created earlier on, of some of the great assets that we kind of do already have throughout the city and how we could really look into this and improve it. We went through Ingram Park, Sherbondi Park, Seagull Park. We even visited a lot of those smaller, really open spaces that we really consider as an asset because, right, we're so much residential and commercial. We don't really have that much opportunity sometimes for open space. So it's actually important to look at these spaces as well. Your beautiful Butterfly Prayer Park, which I know had some recent improvements on there. Your Timothy Homes, your Peace Park, which really kind of is a little open space in the middle of the kind of the neighborhood. And then as well as your canal little area, rest area that's there. But most importantly, we really looked at not only the amount, the quantities that you have out there of your basketball courts or your fitness stations or your how many playgrounds we had, but we really took a look at the conditions of what's out there so that we could make actual recommendations of what we know needs to be prioritized to be improved. We analyzed your programs and your sports programs, as well as your arts and all the your seniors on the move programs that are available. We looked up kind of some of your participation numbers on there, your special events. Boy, the city is always busy. There's a big list of all events all throughout the year for sure. And then we really looked at if you were able to walk to one of your parks, right? We look at walkability, and this is the 5 minute walk. You could see, obviously, we know that the airport and then some of the industrial zones, we really not don't consider that the area near kind of Amelia, but it's pretty walkable. You know, you could walk. You have a good coverage, to Shervani or Ingram Park as well, or Siegel Park. And then when you look at your 10-minute walk, there are a lot of residents that easily walk to one of those open space or all these parks. But what we need to look at is how to make these safer routes. So you can see one of the recommendations to ahead was to look at opportunities for either complete streets or trails along some of your streets to improve this and connect these parks. We looked at state and national standards in terms of acres and then your actual number of facilities that are out there. We didn't score super high, but we weren't either super low. Obviously, this is very national and state. Opa-locka is unique, and not everybody in the community might want to play tennis. There might be a bigger need for pickleball, for example. The same as your courts, what's kind of the preference. So although these are national and state, we considered better your knowledge of what the residents needed more than anything on that. And in terms of acreage of open space, right now if we look at what's in your comprehensive plan, and according to kind of the county, we're a little bit below. But in 2035, we really do need to look at opportunities to make sure that we are preserving these parks and open spaces as much as possible as well. We had the public survey that went out and kind of ran for a couple months as well. I know was shared with QR codes in some of your events. We also had the workshop out at Siegel Park, where we had residents' feedbacks and kind of notes on what are the improvements they kind of wanted to see out at the parks, concentrating really in Ingram, Siegel, and Sherbondi. And then kind of all that analysis, really what it kind of comes out is, how are we able to weigh this stuff and make actual recommendations to this? So we really have a system that looks kind of more of a key matrix, and we weigh out kind of on a point system the feedback, our analysis and the feedback from the residents. And then these are some of the top things that kind of came out. We know that we need to improve what's currently out there. That's the main focus before we start constructing anything new. Let's improve what we have. We need to take a look at comfort features, right? Your restrooms, your lightings, your seating areas, your parking throughout your parks. Upgrade your fields and your courts in your parks. And then it makes sure that our community centers or indoor spaces are well improved as well, and there's maintenance costs going into these as well. Fitness trails and equipment, giving back to the community, being able to help with health throughout the community is a big thing. And update some of our playgrounds, right? Some of our playgrounds are a bit show kind of signs of age, and we want some of these playgrounds to be unique and be destination playgrounds to kind of for kids to kind of come and play, and them to look different each and unique. A splash pad or a spray ground. We know how hot it is, right? We're not even in the mid of summer, and it's kind of super hot out there. So the community really spoke out on the need for like a splash pad or a spray ground out there. Areas of picnic and barbecue opportunities for the families to kind of gather as well. And then track and field was one that kind of came up for the kids to be able to have their sports there. And then diversity of your programs, expanding the after school, aquatic, youth camps, and the youth sports in general. And then preserving of some of these open spaces came up. And then one thing that the last three are kind of really key to make sure we're planning ahead for the next 10, 15 years is just always keeping ahead of the trends and our current needs. Things change, so we always have to kind of get the feedback from the residents throughout the years. This isn't set in stone what we're kind of proposing as well. And then continue, and you guys do a good job with partnerships and sponsorships, but let's continue to make those happen, as well as make sure we're providing money and allocating it for renovations and maintenance throughout the years of your parks on there. And then one of what we looked at, right? How do we connect these parks? And we kind of worked with the city staff on this. And this is something they kind of worked on too, is opportunities for proposed park connections and trails. So this is not only like a regular multi-purpose trail, but it could be a designated bike lane or sidewalk improvements on the community where people could easily move through and walk to a park. Okay, and we look at Ingram Park, and these are looking at big picture, long range. Our plan is kind of focusing on a 10-15 year plan, and this is kind of phased out as well. To make improvements to Ingram Park, one of the first kind of items is really making sure that it's considered a park by having an exit or an entrance to the park. And this is an example of one way that we can make sure that happens. The current senior center there is currently, I know it's closed, so we could reuse kind of that area as an entrance and connect those two parking areas. But more than anything, as you could see, huge is a track and field area to be able to give back that allocated space for the youth and the adults to kind of play in that. We have a fitness area, a centered fitness area. We have shaded bleachers. We have restrooms and kind of concession stand upgrades in that area, shelters upgrades, and then we proposing upgrades to the playground. And then there's space even in Ingram Park to provide a splash pad or spray ground. The difference between the splash pad and the spray ground is the splash pad has standing water and the spray ground is just kind of a misters and stuff as well. And then making sure the basketball courts are renovated in that area, the two of them, and then allocating really the tennis to pickleball, as there's a huge trend and demand for that, and we want to make sure that the residents are able to play pickleball within the community as well. And these are flexible. These could always kind of change too. With the courts, you could make it a multi-purpose courts. You could, if you don't want pickleball, we could change it to tennis. But what the concept plan is really showing is the space that's allocated in Ingram and everything that could possibly go in Ingram with kind of those feedback recommendations now. A lot of the unseen things that you don't see physically is upgrades to sports lightings that need to happen, infrastructure upgrades with drainage and that need to happen in Ingram as well. And then we got to make sure, and in the future, and this is maybe 15 years or 20 years down the road, there could be a possibility where you do have the space in Ingram if you want to do another recreation center. And it could be anywhere between 10 to 15,000 square feet of a community center now. Again, these are concepts. This is long the road, thinking all the possibilities that could go into the community. We're trying to give you not just to fix what we currently have, but thinking big in the future of giving kind of back to the residents of it. These are just kind of planning scenarios of what could fit in Ingram Park as well. When we look at Sherbondi Park, we have the field renovations. If we were to do artificial turf in this field, the playtime and the downtime for maintenance would decrease highly. And you're able to kind of have, and more you see this where you are able to use multi-purpose fields and then also have baseball with artificial turf. You're able to kind of give back and have those two back. The basketball courts renovations, again, the playgrounds, and then shelters. And one thing that we really know that's needed at Sherbondi is a restroom. an outside restroom where the kids could actually go out there or have a concession stand to support all those play sports that are happening there. And thinking big and down the road too, one thing that kind of came up too was, what about an event space? Where is our formalized event space in the city? You have so many events, and we're kind of spread out and kind of throughout the city. But it would be amazing to kind of have that connection at Sherbondi and use it for an amphitheater, and it could just be kind of an open lawn type of style, with a stadium. But this is kind of big picture, giving you all the opportunities that could possibly happen out there. Again, infrastructure of your lights, your drainage, would happen and throughout the park as well. And at Seagull Park, apart from your upgrades to your paths, looking into adding parking. And you're able to kind of add parking into it, but there was one concept that we did see where the parking kind of goes to the outside of the border. We're thinking it'd probably be best, and for safety of the residents attending and the kids, when you park your car, you get off and you just go, instead of parking and then going across a drive to the park. So that's one change. I know you guys have seen this, and you're able to even fit, not only upgrade a nice playground in there with it being a destination, but have a fitness area too for the adults, right? You could have fitness that's multi-generational, and it's ADA compliant for your seniors that kind of attend at the center already as well. And it could be used for all ages, not just the seniors as well. And then some other recommendations in your other open spaces as well is, eventually Kaboom, we know the playground will need an update, whether that is kind of funded by the city or by the partnership. The shaded fitness area in there would eventually need an upgrade. Amenities, just rest, your benches, your trash receptacles, just to be uniform, a same look throughout all your parks would be the best recommendation as well. And making sure that open play area that's out there is kind of improved a bit on the field, and allow for open play, just pick up kind of games on that. Your butterfly prayer park, I know there were some improvements already on there, but just the maintenance, if you, anywhere you have butterfly kind of dedicated landscape, you constantly have to do modifications and replant, because the butterflies, like, they're eating the plant material, the milkweed and all that. So that's something to always kind of have to keep in mind for maintenance purposes. And then site amenities as well as at Timothy Homes Park. The playground would eventually need an upgrade and a kind of more of a shade structure, again, amenities. And then at your Peace Park, which is kind of in between the neighborhood, it's just an open space. It'll be nice to have, some nice landscape out there. It's just some benches. People walking through the neighborhood could just, come out as well. And it doesn't have to be, it's just a passive little kind of area, as well as your Burlington Canal Park. Just some improved amenities there. It's kind of a nice shaded area. We did see some residents out there, but just some improvements with side amenities will help that area out. And then in terms of recommendations, right, we're thinking big. Remember, we're not thinking just about your parks, we're thinking of your whole park system. So we have really four main goals. The first goal really is to improve department organizational efficiencies. That's with recommendations for how we communicate about our programs, how we communicate about all that we have to offer in the parks as well. And how do we market that at a target to our residents, and have that visible as well for all events. Improve customer service, as well as additional partnerships, and additional transportation routes and stops. We know that some of this kind of is provided by the city, especially for our seniors, but we want to make sure that accessibility to these programs are important for the rest of your community. Improve your programs and service delivery. We got to make sure our programs, as you could see, the diversity of age group that we have here, that they're diverse and accessible to everyone in the community. Multi-generational programs where not only you could kind of have events where the seniors have and could teach the younger kids something kind of a mixed program for them. Offerings of your times of these programs, whether it's on the weekends or later in the afternoons. Improvements as well to increase aquatic programs. And then with all that, if we're improving, our programs and expanding them, we need to make sure that our indoor spaces are equipped for these programs. So we do have to allocate a bit of funding to that. And I know we do this already, but some of the neighborhood events and pop-up events that we kind of do, just continue to do these. I know that our residents love it. And just kind of allocating funds for it, and then just highlight your partnerships for these events. That's doesn't always fall back on the city as well. Goal number 3 is improve facilities and amenities, and this is kind of where the higher cost of things kind of come. Again, this is really a 15-year plan. We have a short term, which is 1 to 3 years. We have a midterm 4 to 6, and then the long term is 7 to 10, and then the future term is really 11 to 15 years. Being realistically planning out what we could provide to the city. This includes enhancing your parks, as we know. A lot of the upgrades to what we talked about on the amenities, your benches, your trash receptacles, just in general through all your parks. And then some of the new facilities, like as we mentioned, the splash pad or new courts or fields, as we were proposing before. And then one thing that always kind of popped up as well is that we got to make sure, lighting and securities through all our parks, but we're also when we're designing these, we're looking at crime prevention through environmental design. And this comes through, the height of your landscape, eyes on your parks, and activating some of these parks, which we kind of already do on that. And of course, improve of ADA accessibility, and then expanding your trails and signage throughout your parks as well, is key to kind of facilitate the visitors kind of attending your parks. And then one of our last goals really is, well, we're proposing all of this, right? We got to take a look at how do we increase our financial opportunities. So we got to make sure we are looking at how we cost recovery and pricing policy for our programs, taking a look at our CIP for our park maintenance and improvements and developments, and being realistic and setting that. Grant opportunities, neighborhood improvement grant programs that we could assist with, and then additional sponsorships throughout. And then these are some kind of a highlights of what would come in our short term, and from short term all the way to future term. These are kind of ongoing services, and these are kind of lower costs, and it's most of the times is even just staff creating these, but it's really customer service training, advertisement of your programs and of your parks and your events, special programming equipment if we need it, neighborhood events, making sure that these continue to happen, and we're programming for them correct, park safety improvements, your greenways, which are your trails, and signage. So that happens all through from short term to future term, and this is just ongoing kind of work that we know has to be kind of done for our parks. Now, in the short term, one of our recommendations really is to look at Ingram Park, as is one of your parks that kind of needs really the most attention as of right now. It's unrealistic to think that we're going to be able to implement everything in Ingram in 1 to 3 years. So we're spreading Ingram Park recommendations between the short term and the midterm. So it's up to 6 years of kind of updates to Ingram and phasing it out. Your Butterfly Prayer Park would be in your short term, the Peace Park, and then the Coachman Gardens, Burlington Park, or open space really would be in your first year, which because that's a low cost, and really that's just site amenities of benches and trash receptacles. In your long term, we're really looking at Sherbondi Park and Seagull Park, and then playgrounds to Timothy Holmes Park. And Sherbondi Park is kind of split. Some of the recommendations are in long term and future terms, for the reasons that in the future term, if we're really looking at Sherbondi, and I did not say this in the recommendations, is that we got to make sure that eventually in 15, 20 years from now, when the community center really could use the improvements, we look at our indoor basketball to make it regulated and our swimming pool to be regulated as well. Now, this is long term kind of goals. There's bigger things to kind of concentrate as well. And then the same with Ingram Park, potentially opportunity for if we were to expand another indoor gymnasium there. Okay, so take a look to what some of the funding strategies and what could be applicable to the city, apart from CIP and user fees, that we could really kind of make recommendations on how we kind of work with the community on these, on what's the right price for these services. An opportunity would be parks bonds and grants. Grants I know we kind of currently use and implement, as well as sponsorships. But I do want to highlight some of the recent park bonds that have happened. And the reason why we're highlighting this is because when you have improvements of you have to touch up, and it's quite a bit of amounts. Most cities, as you know, Miami Gardens kind of went through that. Look at park bonds to be able to implement these at a quicker rate. This is just a chance, but these are some of the rates. Doral went through it for Lauderdale, Sunrise, Hollywood Plantation, West Palm, and Delray Beach. And they're usually they have a high chance of getting passed. And this is just one area of providing that. But one of the best things and assets that we really need to focus on before we even look at a park bonds is, apart from our CIP, is grants, right? We could stack grants. There's quite a bit out there of grants that are applicable to these recommendations to the community. The current climate, I know there's some on hold, but we feel that if it's a plan for 10, 15 years, a lot of these could be actually implemented. So we do have in the appendix of the actual document about 30 different grants that could be applicable to the city for services that would apply to some of these recommendations of field upgrades or trails or improvements in your landscape as well. Okay. No, that was a bit long, but thank you for that.
Thank you. So I'll open up the floor for any questions. Senator
Mr. Mayor.
Fuentes, Commissioner Santiago.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Question for Ms. Lumila Fuentes. This is the first time that I see you here in the commissioner meeting. We'll be talking this morning about this program. They told me that this will be approved for the commissioners chamber like 2 years ago, the started of this program. I can tell you that I really like working with all these parks around the city and bring new projects and new features for the resident in Opa-locka. Especially 2 parks that be always in that location in the east side, and one of the park is Ingram. I love Ingram Park. And that's one of the parks that I like to see, not in 6 years. I don't know if you're going to be here in 6 years, but I love to see that park work and running in the next 7 months. One of the things that I have is 5 questions that I be writing. All the costs and finance that we're going to have in this program is coming through the city budget, to the city budget, okay. And I'm gonna ask one of my colleagues before, but I'm gonna ask you because I really want to learn what is the word of CIP,
Capital Improvements Plan.
capital improvement plans. Oh,
I
okay.
apologize for not saying that first.
Okay, yeah, and that's money that coming from
Correct.
us,
Correct.
from the taxpayers.
Yeah, from the taxpayers.
I don't want to make it too long, but I don't, if he, Mr. Mayor and the city attorney and the manager, there is any possible that I can have a meeting, because I don't, this is the first time that I know about the program and I know about that company and everything, that I can get together with them
Madam
to
President.
study all this idea, because I have a lot of questions for you. A lot of questions. Okay. That one with the 6 years, okay, to make Ingram Park better. I'm be honest, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I want that part be starting running the soonest we can, and to redoing it, okay, the best that we can.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make it long, because I know my colleagues have also question, but I asking, okay, that I need to uh be together
Yeah.
when you start for the
Yeah.
company and
Madam Manager.
Mr. Sutton. Thank you.
Yes, we can definitely set up a meeting with Commissioner Santiago and Representative from Miller Lake.
I think it would be great if we could meet one-on-ones, if whoever would like to go over the plan, and we could kind of walk you through it. Now that we publicly, everybody's in the same place, we could meet one-on-one over the plan. Absolutely. We'll be available for that.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna help in a lot, because it's coming. I know that we have a news idea here in the city, and we want to share it with you. And I know there's a lot of things going on around, and we want the best that happen here in the city for all the residents of the great city of Opa-locka.
Yep, I appreciate it. And
Okay,
again,
well, I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna have the other 4 questions for her private. Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. Yes, sir. Any other questions or concerns to the consultant?
Mr. Mayor, no
Commissioner-
questions,
go.
just to say thank you. Like it's been said, we've been working on this for several years, and I understand where Commissioner Santiago is coming from, wanting to see what's going on, but just a footnote, it's not up to her. What we do first is up to budgeting and what we deem necessary.
That's the point.
So, I like what I see, and I know it's gonna take time. And I'm sure we as mayor and commission will look at it along with the city manager's office and decide what we think we need to work on first, based on budgeting and preferences. So that's all I want to say, but thank you.
appreciate it.
Okay. Any other,
Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Irvin?
Hi, I want to say thank you. I've had the pleasure of being in the workshops, great workshops. I just wanted to make note of something because on Ingram Park, well, where it says gazebos, you have that we only have one gazebo. But there is a gazebo at Ingram Park, just so that you can make the correction. And we no longer have a playground at Siegel.
It was removed, but
Right.
yeah.
I just going forward, in case you needed the accurate information, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Thank you. You all did a great job.
I'm
Thanks.
sorry.
One second, Vice Mayor Kelly and Commissioner Bass. Commissioner Irvin, you still have the
Go
floor.
ahead.
Yeah.
I thought she was.
I'm
gonna say
sorry, I
something.
just want to get in. Charmin, also the one that's at, Glorietta, that's also removed, the playground.
That's right.
Mr. Mayor.
That, that-
That's it. Thank
all right, Vice Mayor Kelly?
Okay, I like the idea of individual meetings. I'm challenged because we've been at this since 2022. 2022, we should have had an implemented plan and have already decided if we want to do a bond or something way before now. And I say that because, well, I'll say it for me. Before you meet with me, make sure all these things that are in here are updated. Because their playground's gone, their playground's improved. There's things, as my colleagues said, are not there anymore. A whole lot of change because we've had to take matters into our own hands, just improve things. Because our residents were not pleased seeing broken down this and half that. So I don't know how you're going to schedule them, but before you meet with me, because I was glancing at it, and as my colleague pointed out too, I've got about 20. But I'm not happy with the fact that it took 3 years to get to this point. When this was budgeted back when I left in 2021 for $150,000. And of course, the catch-all is going out for a bond, which a lot of cities do go out for bonds. But I also would have liked to seen some more creativity other than just a bond concept or just a general statement of partnerships. But before you meet with me anyway, please make sure you update all of this and have an explanation for me as why it took so long to get to this point, considering it's been out there for a while. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. So I want to say thank you for the presentation. Greatly appreciate it. And the only question I have or concern I have is, I don't like bonds. Opa-locka is highest. We have the highest millage rate, one of the highest millage rate in the state of Florida, and we know that. So I would like to exhaust all the resources before we go down that road. And hopefully we don't have to go down that road. But I know that you said that there were grants that you identified. Have you spoken to the manager about those grants? I know we have a grant person on staff. We contract with a grant writer. So have you spoken to the manager?
No, we could make another meeting, but there's specific Parks and Recreation
Mhm.
database that we kind of have of all those grants. We have the time that you apply for them and that kind of information. But we could work with the grant writer to tweak and make sure what's applicable to the city and actually target these projects.
Okay, and the only reason why I'm stressing that, because I know we just, the state of Florida just passed their budget, and I think the federal budget will start, well, a couple months from now. And I say this is probably gonna start earlier, even earlier this year because it's election next year. So I just want to make sure that we're not behind the 8 ball. So if we can identify those funding sources and send it to the manager so
Okay.
that we can start applying.
Yep.
And then the other thing, I just want clarity. You have CIP, parks bond grants, user fees. Are you suggesting like parking fees and
Well,
amenity fees?
Your
and stuff?
events, your event, if you have any like revenue coming from your
Okay,
events or
That's okay.
yeah.
That's what I assumed you meant. All right.
Oh,
Well, thank
Mr.
you.
Mayor. Oh,
Commissioner, Sergio?
yeah, last question. Is for everybody here in the chamber. We can include in there in this program private budget for anyone want to be a partnership with us?
I mean, we could. I would have to take a look at your partnership agreement, and your
It's me
spon-
looking for
Yeah.
people to investing in our part.
Yep, yeah.
The
And I know there's been
partnership.
a couple of partnerships wanting to come to, I know at one point Ingram had maybe 2 different options. I've been kind of kept up with that, but,
Okay.
yeah, we could help with some of that.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Fuentes.
Thank
Thank you for the presentation. All right. We're going, oh, so Madam Manager, you have your marching orders to set up the individual meetings and to update the plan. So we'll go back to Ms. Janice Smith, Project Manager for Art Prevails Project, nonprofit, storied, where art, legacy, and community converge. Ms. Smith, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners, Mayor, and members of the City of Opa-locka. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this evening. My name is Janice Smith, and I am here on behalf of a creative partnership between Art Prevails Project and the New Cannon Chamber Collective. Together, we are bringing forward a vision rooted in preservation, community connection, and cultural legacy. We believe that Opa-locka is more than a city. It's a living archive of stories, memories, art, struggle, triumph, and resilience. Our elders, those who are becoming ancestors, carry a depth of wisdom and experience that, if not preserved now, could be lost to time. Our project, Storied, aims to honor and preserve these voices, to become the trumpeters for stories too often untold. Through visual art, oral histories, and in-depth community immersion, we aim to document the lived experiences of Opa-locka residents, especially the elders, so that future generations can learn from and be inspired by them. To show what's possible, let me share the origin stories of both organizations and how they have gone on to serve their communities. The Art Prevails Project, founded by poet Darius Daughtry in 2015, is a Broward-based cultural arts organization dedicated to enriching the community through creative expression. The organization's programs make the arts accessible, and by harnessing the transformative power of the arts, Arts Prevails empowers individuals and communities to connect, heal, and grow. By blending art with activism, Art Prevails projects seeks to foster cultural dialogue, uplift underserved voices, and champion creative expression as a path to healing and empowerment. The New Cannon Chamber Collective, founded by Portia Dunkley in 2019, is based on a desire to amplify the voices of Black and Brown musicians in the classical music canon. create equitable pay opportunities, and ensure that our children can see themselves represented on stages as classical musicians. New Canaan has gone on to create equitable pay opportunities for its BIPOC musicians, changed the perception of what a classical orchestra should look like, and brought attention to composers and musicians who are often overlooked and marginalized. Both organizations are a true testament of what it looks like when art meets intention. Communities are not only inspired, they are also transformed. So, when you merge these two ideas together, we have measurable economic value. Studies consistently show that neighborhoods enriched by public art see increased civic pride, tourism, and yes, property value. According to Americans for the Arts, every dollar invested in public arts generates up to $7 in economic activity. Cities that invest in community-centered cultural projects experience improved social cohesion, reduce crime rates, and increase engagement across all age groups. Here is what we envision: a citywide creative project that places Opa-locka's story at the center. Two commissioned artists will immerse themselves in the life of your city. Over the next 3 months or so, they'll engage residents in intimate, candid conversations and scheduled interviews, capturing the lived experiences, cultural richness, and generational wisdom that make Opa-locka so unique. From these interactions, we will create original music and a visual and audio record that reflects the heartbeat of the community. To wrap up, we will do a public culminating presentation, a powerful moment of reflection and celebration that we anticipate staging in late August or early September. This is just the beginning. We want to make Opa-locka the blueprint, a national model for how cities can invest in their stories, their legacy, and their people. You have the opportunity to lead the way and show what's possible when a city boldly centers both its future and its past. Therefore, we're asking for your blessing and your partnership. While we do not need funding, we do need your city spaces where we can hold community town halls, conduct interviews, and host our culminating celebration. These spaces are essential for making this project as inclusive, accessible, and impactful as possible. Therefore, my assignment today is to petition this commission for the blessing and the commitment to engage with your community in a meaningful way. Let's honor the voices of our elders. Let's preserve what makes this city extraordinary, and let's build something enduring together. Humbly submitted on behalf of Storied, and Art Prevails and New Canon Collaboration.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Do we have any questions for Ms. Smith?
Mr.
Oh,
Mayor,
Okay.
I would like to meet with you. Thank you. I would like to meet with you one-on-one.
Sure.
Because this is the first time I'm hearing it. I like it, but I still would like to, sit down and have a one-on-one conversation with you.
Sure.
And I'm all about the arts. So I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Okay.
All right. Any other? All right. Thank you, Ms. Smith.
Thank you.
And well, we'll be in touch through the city clerk. Thank you all. All right, we're moving on to our citizens forum. Madam Clerk, can you please state for the record how to participate in citizen forum?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Good evening. City of Opa-locka Commission meetings are held in person at the Opa-locka Government Center, City Commission Chambers, 780 Fisherman Street, Opa-locka, Florida. Members of the public wishing to address the commission may do so in person or virtually. Those persons wishing to participate virtually should register prior to the scheduled meeting time on the city's website at www.opalockafl.gov. When speaking before the commission, please make sure to give your full name and address for the record. There is a 3-minute time limit for public comments. Please adhere to the decorum policy, which is part of the commission meeting agenda. City commission meetings are aired through live stream at www.youtube.com/user/City of Opa-locka. And Mr. Mayor, at this time, we do not have any virtual public comments.
Okay, so citizens forum is open for those in the chamber. Citizens forum is open.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Brian Dennis, address 2140 York Street. Please excuse my address this evening. My mentee. Scoop. I'm watching it.
Turn the mic up, please.
I'm sorry. I'm watching the last commission meeting, right? And I get a call. Get a call from him because he's meeting with some people that is formerly of the city of Opa-locka but own businesses and property in West Park. City attorney comes up. Now, what I didn't know was that the city attorney is the city attorney in West Park. So I go watch a few meetings concerning this. The one reason why I'm addressing this because I don't want nobody to think that I'm attacking them. If any other person name would have been on that legislation, you would have got the same type of energy, right? But as I'm watching the meeting, guess what's not happening? They're not getting weak legislation and they're not getting vague answers. The answers that you all get, go back and watch the commission meeting after you all leave here. They're vague answers. They're not definitive. They're not directive. So if I'm giving you advice, do you really think I'm going to put you in a position where you could be attacked? And that's not what it was. It wasn't an attack. It was an attack on the legislation. Here's who taught me how to read legislation. Former Mayor John Riley, former City Attorney Patricia Ellis, the late Arthur Teal, Barbara Carey, and Ms. Claudette Freeman that worked in Barbara Carey's office. When you read the legislation, you should be able to know what you are looking at. So now as I'm looking at the meeting, what strikes me is see why the attorney and the former manager was at each other. It's crazy, right? So watch this here. I was very disenchanted about a year or so ago about the attorney not getting paid. I'm like, she's doing a job. I see why one of the commissioners didn't want to pay her. You can't give out, you can't give out soft information to get it. Weak legislation don't get you nowhere. Legislation is the key that moves the city. So any type of resolution, any type of ordinance, anything that's coming before the commission, it has to be concrete. But when it's vague and there's no teeth in it, it looks a type of way. It really does look a certain type of way. There's no way if I'm advising any of you that I'm going to put you in a position where you're going to get attacked. And it's not a personal attack. It's the legislation. It's what's bought. And we know what came behind it. It's nothing but simple legislation. I've been on the charter board since 1998.
Thank you, Mr. Dennis. Citizens Forum is still open.
Good evening, Mayor Commissioner Audrey Dominguez, 1147 Jan Avenue. I first wanted to thank Commissioner Irving for the nice Juneteenth event that we had on Friday. It was beautiful. I enjoyed myself. I also wanted to thank the mayor for bringing up sponsoring the resolution regarding Jan and Ahmad, although it was first sponsored by Commissioner Williams, but now it seems like we need to keep on pushing it for it to happen. And I just hope that this time something gets done, because it seems like you bring ordinance and resolutions, yet it just sits there, it doesn't go anywhere. And I don't understand why. It shouldn't be, but you're talking about people's lives, you know? Yes, maybe nobody has died in that corner, but what do we have to wait for someone to actually die for something to be done? And, we have the county that needs to be watching and hearing these things. Also, I notice online, the news and social media online needs to be updated. You have the previous PR firm with their phone number, and the information that's up there is from February 2023. There's, I guess, events and things of that nature. The LAMP newsletter, old information, need to update. Commissioner Santiago, your picture's not up there, so I'm just letting you know. They also should update the picture of the historic City Hall, which it's been restored. So that's something that needs to be looked at. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Dominguez. Citizens Forum is still open. Citizens Forum is closed. Um, I do want to address this, Madam Manager. I'm sorry. I don't normally do this, but I will today. Commissioner Dominguez, it's the website or what were you? News and social media online. Where did you get that information? Is that from the website or social media? Opa-locka. Madam Manager, can you look into that, please? Thank you. Thank you. All right, moving on to our consent agenda items. 13.6.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, directing the interim city manager to take all necessary steps to install a traffic calming device at the intersection of Jan Avenue and Ahmad Street in conformity with applicable local and state laws, providing for adoption of representations, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by Mayor Taylor.
Okay, can I get a motion?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Bass, second by Commissioner Santiago. It is my item, so I present it. So simply put, it's just to direct the city manager to take all necessary steps. I just want us to be proactive, and I know that the attorney brought up in the last meeting that we have to do this in conjunction with the county, obeying the laws of the county as well as the state. So whatever she needs to do, either do it in MOU with the county or do something to engage them to let them know that, hey, we need traffic calming devices on Jan Avenue. So that's simply put what this legislation is doing, just giving her that directive and that go-to to ensure that this happens. All right, and this was pulled by Vice Mayor Kelly, so I will yield to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I support the item, but I want to just put a caveat behind it because you can open up a Pandora's box. Because at every meeting Monday, I get folks that want speed bumps, street calming devices, and the like. And my answer has always been, we're waiting on the county to finish their overall assessment of the city. I've heard the concerns of that area, Jan and Ahmad. I ride down it like everyone else. But I want to just put on record, because I've already received some calls from residents. They want mitigation, and I like the language that's here in the legislation to mitigate the traffic concerns pending a completion of a study. And as you said, Mr. Mayor, we don't know when that study is going to be complete. We don't know what the county is going to say, but this is just to mitigate for the short term to install these radar speeding warning signs at all 4 locations at a cost of $18,000. You cannot put a cost on anyone's life, so I'm not trying to do that. I just want to be aware that you're probably going to see 2 or 3 more of these kinds of legislations coming forth for particular areas. But I understand the need. I understand we want to do something to address it, and I'm all for that. But there are 3 or 4 others that all of us probably could name that have challenging locations, that have data to back them up, that they're challenged locations. But I'm going to support the item, but it's going to be coming up with some more locations. Just want to put that on the record. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Commissioner Santiago.
Thank you. The opportunity that I have is to say, yes, I'm gonna support that resolution 150%. And I'm with the same idea with my colleague, Vice Mayor. And also we'll be discussing this morning about the speed bumpers that I believe is one of the best resolutions, okay, that we can make it be done here in the great city of Opa-locka. I'm tired to always hear the same thing about Dade County. Dade County don't want it. Dade County, and I said, but it's only for Opa-locka because I see a speed bumper in Coral Gables. I saw a speed bumper even in part of Miami. I see a speed bumper in North Miami. I see a speed bumper even in our sister city here next to us, Miami Garden. And we have a representative for District 1 that he used to be there, the mayor for that city. And he's there. Why we don't have anything from him about it? If he know the Opa-locka is still here. And I want to see how can we get in touch with him, because we're going to have a very good talk to District 1 representative for Dade County. I need the speed bumper that are gonna fighting for that. That's the best solution. Not the machine that we have there. Nobody respecting it. They passing like crazy. Okay, and we scare the neighborhood there because we saw a lot of bad things there in that corner. And like I say, when vice mayor, this is not only the intersection that we have to do, but we need to make real the speed bumper here. And I'm gonna start to fight it by this week, even if I had to go personally to Dade County and talking with the representative for District 1. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Commissioner Irvin?
Commissioner Santiago, when he goes to the county to talk to the person that's over District 1, I would love to go with you, sir, because I'm tired of it too.
Yes.
Honestly.
And we're gonna
We do exist.
and we're gonna go with residents too. They're gonna listen to us.
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
I would just ask if that happens, if you all, a resident was complaining, I don't put things on the record, I do all the time. But if you all go, you need to sunshine that meeting, as you know, so don't just go together. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Bass?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I requested a meeting with him a couple months ago. He met with me, but he said to me that he does not meet with commissioners or council people. He meet with the mayor. And I had to tell him that it doesn't work that way. So I'm just putting that in the air so you guys will know that's what he said to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, but this is not.
Thank you, Commissioner Bass.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Santiago?
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. I want to get a meeting with him.
Okay, let's bring this back to
But
where it's
what
supposed to-
I don't understand is how can our city attorney tell us that, okay, about breaking any sunshine law, because we're not gonna go there to see him when all the people here from Opa-locka to asking that we're gonna vote for something. We're not voting for anything. The only thing is we want some action and they have some respect for the great city of Opa-locka.
Right. I'm only Commissioner Santiago talking about two of you meeting to discuss something that is foreseeably likely that you will vote on. That's the law. And so that part of it, I caution you on, and I think Commissioner Natasha Irvin understands what I'm saying. So if you do go, you need to sunshine the meeting. Okay, that's all. I don't have anything to do with what anything else. I'm just telling you that legal part. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Attorney. Thank you, Commissioner Bass. So moving right along, we can call the question if there are any other concerns.
Vice Mayor Kelly?
Yes, man, no.
Uh,
I mean, I'll call him
Like
for a
that.
meeting. I haven't called him for a meeting, but Commissioner Bass has said she met and that's what he said. So we have concerns about this item. We all understand what the attorney's saying about the sunshine, but you know what? As the chair, since this is your legislation, and I do foresee some other things coming up, so maybe through your meeting with him, we will get a resolution. So I don't have to come back with 3 or 4 other locations, and my colleagues because all of us concerned about the safety. And the real key is maybe not so much having 4 or 5 individual resolutions, is to get the county to push along whatever the study is being done so we can get a finite answer on what we can do going forward so we can budget for it. So if a meeting from you as the mayor will push that, then go ahead and you get that meeting and bring it back. Because otherwise, like I said, I've got some areas, I'm quite sure my colleagues got some areas, and we'll be done spent a whole lot of money while we're still really just waiting on the county's study. So your meeting gets that pushed quicker. You're the mayor. Why you sit in the middle? So you schedule that meeting, Mr. Mayor. We'll look for an answer by the next meeting.
Mr. Mayor, if you will, when you meet with him, just remind him of the conversation I had with him in regards to the lighting on 27th Avenue from 151st to 131st.
Oh my head.
Please,
That's
thank you.
why I was saying, because I wanted us to stay focused on the, no, because it kind of went left because Commissioner Santiago went from talking about the item to the but we all agree with you.
Okay, man. Hey.
We
So-
dance in Opa-locka too.
You see?
So we should have our list to you by when, Ms. Moore?
Give it to the clerk.
Give it to the clerk. Okay. Call the
Can
question.
we call the question, Madam Clerk?
Vice Mayor Kelly,
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, moving on to item 13-7.
7.
I just want to say I love y'all.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, directing the interim city manager to allocate funding in fiscal year 2025 through 2026 for a community newspaper, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by Commissioner Santiago.
Sorry, can I get a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Santiago.
I'll second it for discussion.
Second, by Commissioner Bass. Commissioner Santiago?
Oh, no, I think the Vice Mayor Melly,
No,
Kelly pulled
this
it
is your
out.
item to present.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I presenting again the item. I remember the years ago we used to have the what we call in the community newspaper in the city. For some reason, the paper disappeared, and I don't have too much information about it. And what I tried is to bring it back like any other city, because if you go to any city and visiting, the places out there, they have their own community papers. Why we can have our own newspaper here in the great city of Opa-locka? And one of the things is that we'll be talking about fixing the medias and doing this and that. And I remember when we used to have that newspaper outside, a lot of people from the resident and also the commercial business people, they know a lot about events and program that we have in the city. Is that's a way to also to give information to our residents and people that they pass by through the city. Anytime that I go to any city to do anything, I always pick up one of these papers and I starting to read it, and I see a lot of good things there that maybe they are not for me because I'm not for that city, but it's make me interested to bring it back to our great city of Opa-locka. This is something that I try to bring it back to see if it can be added to the new budget year. And I want to say to you, I'm going to make the best, okay, to bring back some kind of information, even if it's a page only. But I'm going to bring that back to the great city of Opa-locka to make announcing everything that we do, changes in the maintenance and the rules and regulation that we have. But we're going to have news there for each or one of us for anything that we do good for the city. If we are not getting that budget, I'm going to get the budget for our side. Thank you, my colleagues.
All right. Vice Mayor Kelly, I'll yield to you because you pulled the item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm fully aware of the newspaper. Matter of fact, I championed many years ago to get the newspaper, and my colleague is correct. We did have it. My challenge with the legislation at this moment, and I've said, and it's kind of my practice, I don't like to allocate future funding for a budget that hasn't been completed unless it's infrastructure or public safety, something that we can't avoid or something of that nature because we got it tied to several years of improvements. And so I would suggest to my colleague, I know that the manager is looking at our communications and all of those things and the like. And she's already mentioned, I think she's looking at how she wants to rework our whole notification, getting the word out, because all of us hear it all the time. So I'm looking forward to hearing that. But my main concern is $40,000 that you're really saying to put in next year's budget. And I've always made a practice, unless it's something tied to a continuing infrastructure or public safety related concept, I don't like to allocate future money now. Because if that's the case, all of us would be doing that to make sure our whatever got in next year's budget. And then if you do that, by the time you get to next year's budget, it's already filled with a lot of allocations. So I'm not against the newspaper. I think we will hopefully have something that the manager's going to recommend. And if the sponsor really wants to have it, bring it back as a part of the new budget to be discussed. I wouldn't have a problem with that at that time. But to really allocate funding for the future now, it's not, I think, something we ought to get in the habit of doing. And it's not just this, I've said this in the past, and it's not against the newspaper or getting the word out, because as you said, I remember the fact that we championed the fact that the commission had its own page. The manager, the business community, of course, supported it through funding, was able to pay for it. And we had pages that tell the city's events and stories. So I'm not opposed to the concept, but I am opposed to allocating the funding now and tying the manager's hands now with $40,000. That's really for next year's budget. I don't think we're going to get into that habit of doing that on these kinds of items. That's just my concern, but it's of course the will of the commission. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor,
Commissioner Mayor?
my sentiments exactly. I will kindly ask our sponsor to probably table it, because I don't think that we should allocate $40,000 right now, not knowing what everything is gonna be coming up. I don't want to repeat what Vice Mayor said, but basically I feel the same way, and I do agree that we do need to have that paper, but I just think we should wait till we pass our budget to talk about it further.
Mr. Mayor?
Commissioner Irvin?
Yes, I too share those same sentiments. Although I know the concern, one of the concern is getting information out to our residents. We have to remember that we also have Channel 77 that's coming back. So that's going to be a way for us to advertise what we're doing in the city, what our events are, and when they are, when they're going to be. Because I know that it could be expensive, because just doing the newspaper, I do remember the newspaper back in the day, but back in the day, we had the newspaper. That's all we had. We didn't have social media. We didn't have other means of getting the information out. And now we have to talk about how we're going to get that out to people, because to put it in stores, they're going to be more work for beautification to pick up off the ground. So are we going to be mailing these newspaper to people? That's more expenses. Is just some of the things that I thought about. So maybe we could table it until we have time to do more thoughts about it. Just a suggestion. Thank you.
Okay. I guess I don't really agree with everyone, because this is actually the best time to do it, because we are going into budget season. So, but I do agree. Well, no, because Channel 77 only goes for one, which is Comcast, Xfinity. Everybody doesn't have Xfinity, just like everybody doesn't have social media. And I don't think that the newspaper is a bad idea. We had it in Opa-locka before, and I think this is the best time to have this discussion. Why? Because we are going through the budget process, and she's preparing it. So if we are to vote for it to go in the budget, then the manager knows to put it in. Thing that if we do it after the budget is already passed, we got to do another budget amendment.
Mr. Mayor.
I think this is the proper time to do it if this sponsor doesn't pull. I like that. Vice Mayor Kelly?
Let me respond to that. If you do it that way, then all of us have worthwhile things we think ought to be in the budget. I have 40, you got 40, Commissioner Irvin has 40, Commissioner Bass has 40, Commissioner Sunday has 40. We've already allocated now maybe $200,000 of future money, and we haven't had the first budget workshop. Again, I'm not against the newspaper. I'm against the timing. I don't like, if this was something tied to a future project or continuing project of infrastructure that we know we're going to be doing, or something that's tied to some grant funding that we got to allocate money to make it go forward, I could see that. But to do it now, then what's going to stop me or you or anyone else come back to the next meeting or any meeting prior to the budget being passed to say, I want to allocate funding in the future now for something, and we haven't had the first budget workshop. And while we all know, even though the manager's not scheduled it yet, we know already that we're trying to get out of financial emergency. And the way you do that is to actually tighten your belt and you don't tighten it by saying to the state or whoever, you're allocating dollars in advance before. And it's nothing, it's newspaper, like my colleague said. When we did that in 212, 213, 214, the newspaper was the primary source of how you get stuff. Even when I go to my doctor's office, I don't even hardly see newspapers anymore. I see flyers, maybe a brochure. So to allocate again $40,000 in advance, I don't think it's the process. He can bring, in my opinion, the same suggestion at the budget workshop, and the manager concluded in that workshop numbers. So we're having our final discussions before it formulates to go to the state August 1st. If the commission feels at that time, because of everything that's been presented, that 40,000 is good, fine. But if you pass this, then all of us are going to leave here tonight and say, let me go see what I want to put in the budget for next year and get it passed. So I ain't got to worry about the budget process because my whatever I want to do is in there. And that's why I said you don't want to do that, because you always have emergency, you have things come up that you may need to fund with that 40,000 right now. If you're going to do it, that may come up in next year's budget because of some grant, some opportunity of committing to money, you know. And so I don't think that's the best way to do it, but it's on the table. You got a motion, a second. Call for the question. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right.
Yeah, for me, Mr. Mayor now.
Commissioner Santiago?
I like the word that they say before, tabling?
Table it.
Table it. Okay. Table is mean like defer for the next futures meetings, or to see first how the budget process that we have is gonna pass. Yeah, I understand. I received an email today about the workshop that we have when the staff when the manager's office is been canceled. It's canceled.
Yes,
Okay. And that they're gonna be one-on-one with us.
that's correct.
Perfect. Perfect. I wanna say this, Mr. Mayor and Mike Cali. What I can do, okay, is I like to table it or defer the item and leave it for the next meeting that we're gonna have after the budget, after we have the workshop for the budget.
So.
Okay, because if we are waiting for the budget pass and that not including, okay, that item, for sure I have to wait for the next fiscal year, okay, to get it back. Now, we call in the newspaper. Just remember that that's a community paper, a community newspaper. It's a paper that is not going to be in a big, huge cost like sometimes in things that we have that we are spending money. Okay, perfect. It's not a problem with that. But it's something that I like to bring back to have some kind of information out to our community. It's not me that is going to go out everywhere and it's going to be something that is going to cost a lot of money to us. And like I say, I can bring community people for all the cities that I've been talking about. You see, they had it. They have it. There is not something old or that historic already. The everybody can have access to, the phone and see everything that we have. We give it a good example now with the sign that we put out, for the event. A lot of people they already starting to talking about 4th of July event, this and that, because they see like how that we promoted it. When the newspaper come out once a month, I know that it's gonna have a lot of information for the future and also things that already passed by. There are a lot of people they don't know that happened here in the great city of Opa-locka. We had to choice. I can keep on going and we both pass good, not pass. It's fine with me, but I'm gonna try to create in that community paper, or even if it has a little page every month, I'm gonna bring it for the great city of Opa-locka, for the resident, they have information about what we're doing around. And not gonna go out to private businesses to get funding if we are needed for that. It's up to you. I'm ready for both for them. If
it's
it
not-
pass, yes.
It's
If
not,
not,
it's not up to us. It's actually up to you.
It's up
So
to
you-
me.
You can withdraw the item and bring it back after, during the budget time, defer the item at a
Okay.
date certain, which I don't think we should because we don't know we're gonna have those budget meetings. So the best option would be either to vote it up or down or to withdraw and then bring it back after the budget hearings.
Mr. Mayor.
Vice Mayor Kelly?
If I could suggest to my colleague, just defer your item to a time uncertain. That doesn't tie you and it doesn't make it go away. That's my suggestion. Just defer it until later, because we're gonna have some workshops. We're gonna have some individual meetings that will give us all opportunity to look at it again. My issue is not a newspaper as much as it is the timing of allocating money now for the future. But as mayor says, your item, so if you want to vote, I'll call for the vote for it. I have no problem with that either.
okay, Mr. Mayor, what I do, I'm gonna defer that item, okay, up to the next future meeting. I don't know if it's the next one or the one is followed, but I want to wait for the workshop that we'll be talking about and the one-on-one meetings that we're gonna have. I think that I'm already by, I think the 30th. Yeah, 2 hours. You can make 3 hours, but we're gonna talk.
So he's deferring the item until after the budget workshops.
There, make-
The wanted workshop, 3 hours.
It's something that I said, we're gonna talk, you're gonna see it's gonna come.
All right, so it is precedent that we do this, so we're gonna keep it up. Can I get a motion to defer the item to after the budget hearing?
Move it.
Motion moved by Commissioner Santiago, seconded by Vice Mayor, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Bass,
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly,
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago.
That I had to say yes?
Yes.
Okay,
You didn't say yes.
I say yes.
You said, do I have to say yes?
Yeah, well, I say yes.
And-
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion to defer passes 5-0.
All right, moving on to our first reading ordinances.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, amending the annual adopted general proprietary and special revenue funds budgets for fiscal year commencing October 1, 2024, and ending September 30, 2025, adjusting revenues and expenditures as reflected in Exhibit A, providing for the expenditure of funds established by the budget, authorizing the city manager to take certain actions, providing for appropriation of all budgets and expenditures, providing for fees consistent with appropriations and amendment, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for conflict and repealer, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the interim city manager.
All right, can I get a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Irvin, second by Commissioner Santiago. Madam Manager, go ahead and present it, and we'll open up for public hearing.
This is the first reading for Budget Amendment Number 2 for fiscal year 25. This will align the city's expenditure and revenues while identifying operational concerns and the current fund balance. I also have our Budget Administrator, Mr. Robert Anathan, available to answer any questions you may have at this time.
All right, this is a public hearing item. Public hearing is open. Public hearing is closed. All right, do we have any comments or questions to Ms. Anathan?
Mr. Mayor.
Vice Mayor Kelly?
Yes, I had my brief, of course, we didn't have all the information, the big booklet, at that time. So I couldn't ask them specifically. So what I would like to do, Madam Manager, I'm going to just ask the questions and you can give me the answer between now and the before the next budget hearing. Just for the sake of time, because I would have asked them and had probably an answer by now. So I'll just go through the list and then you can provide me responses the next couple of days, not wait till the next budget hearing though. So, okay. In your budget amendment to summary by line item, so I'll just go through the numbers so you know what I'm referencing. Number 10, that talks about the deductibles with prior incidents and additional legal expense. If you could explain that to me. Number 13 the red light camera fines reduction. And I mentioned in the briefing, the cameras being inoperable for the first 7 months. But I see that it's offset by contingency, which kind of threw me off in terms of that. Because it's being done by contingencies. The next one was the historic city hall maintenance program at 18,000. I want to know what the cost of the maintenance would be. What are we paying now for maintenance per month, or what it's going to look like, or is that done per quarter? And the fact, I know we've talked about having a management company to run the historic city hall property for special things is going to come up. Where are we at on that? Um, Down in number 21, code compliance, you have some temporary staffing. I was trying to understand, I know they've had some vacancies, so we hired temporary code officers, and you got the money from savings, I guess, because you hadn't hired folks. So I'd like to know about that. And the number 19, you had to do some additional road material supplies, and you took it out of housing and social services, which is the department that the commission passed, I think, for 150,000. But we haven't really done anything, so you took that savings out of there. So I don't know how much is left. If anything else has been taken out of that. And when you look at number 10 again on the 65,000, you took it from the savings from red light camera. And I was trying to understand how we're saving if we don't have all the cameras operable. And then what also I'm looking at is the stormwater vacancy savings, wastewater. So I'm assuming those positions haven't been filled. And if they haven't been, we just taking them out for next year, or what are we going to do? And I see that in a couple of places where we have vacancies. One being in the finance vacancies that you're using 132,000 for municipal complex security services and repairs, which how much is on security and how much is on repairs? Because that's a lump, 132,000, and you're taking it from finance vacancies. And I thought finance was fully staffed, so unless I'm incorrect, please let me know how you're taking it from finance vacancies if it's fully staffed, and if it's not, I know that's one of our departments we need to make sure is staffed to get out of financial emergency. So I need to get a clarity on that. And also line 43, 31,000, the increased credit card expenses, what's that for? Again, funded by finance department vacancies. I don't seen that twice. Where we got vacancy finance. If that's the case, I think this commission really wants to know, because we've been asking and want to make sure that finance is fully staffed to do what we need to do for our audits and everything to get out of financial emergency. And also the 48 Public Works Engineering Services funded by vacancy, because I guess you're going to take that position that was funded and hire someone as a consultant, I believe is the language I heard in the briefing. So my question becomes, what's going to happen with the rest of that salary? Because I know that's a high position paying salary. So what's going to happen with the rest of that savings? So those are my questions that I have regarding that budget amendment. And I know we're at the end of the almost fiscal year, and we had not done a whole lot with housing and social services. And so when I saw y'all take that 15 out, that's a red flag. So I got to figure out to my colleague, Mr. Mayor, we're going to we need to do something to get that department functioning with some of that funding before it disappears into other places for vacancies. So, Madam Manager, those are my concerns, questions I need to get answers on, and of course, get them to me so that I can get a clarity on those. Thank you for breaking it down. And Mr. Anthem's, of course, I didn't mention it, but you know that line item you have for those miscellaneous, that you kind of lump a lot of those small ones. As I mentioned in the briefing, I'd like to get those too as well. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, any other questions for Mr. Anderson? Okay, so Madam Manager, my questions are not that, but yeah, 19. I had questions on that. and the vacancies for the finance department.
That would be my.
That was,
question.
that's, yeah. 'Cause I
We'll
thought
make
these
sure
were
we
fully staffed,
well,
but I was,
They are fully staffed now, but it was one point where they were not, so he was using the savings for that period. But they are staffed now, but that will
Okay.
be in your detailed report.
Okay.
okay, so then that would be my next question. I do like the report that you're giving now. It's better, but can we detail it a little bit more with the breakdown of what
Yes.
and why?
We'll provide additional
Thank you.
information.
All right, any other,
Yes,
Commissioner
Mr. Mayor.
Santiago?
Thank you. I looking the one of, I think it's number 10, Madam Manager. We'll be discussing this morning
The red light camera,
about, yeah, the red light camera. And the information that I have for your staff is,
that's number,
yeah,
actually number
okay, yeah.
13.
Yes, they explaining to us like, we will not be receiving any funding from them, from the red light cameras. And my question is, okay, how come they, the camera is there and we don't have the part of the money that we're supposed to have? And we're giving that service to the state and we're giving that service to Dade County. And also, I heard again, Dade County is against us, that they don't let us use another seven camera around the city. I don't like that at all. If the camera, they there, because I tell you, remember, I'm one of the person that pay already $150 for the red light camera there in, what is that, Lejeune and 135th, okay? And why they take my money and they don't give me the money back to the city of Opa-locka? No way.
So there are.
Or they pay us, or I'm gonna bring a resolution to turn down all the cameras, all the red camera for Opa-locka.
So there
I'm
are.
gonna be like former Vice Mayor Timothy Home. We don't need a camera in Opa-locka.
Understood, but there are.
What I
they-
need
they
is
are
money
up,
coming in.
but there are some cameras, as Mr. Anathan explained this morning, that we are having permitting issues through Miami-Dade County. Mr. Anathan, along with the police department and the provider, is working on that, trying to get a solution as to what's going on. Yes, you are correct. The cameras are up and some of them are not working.
Let's make it working soon with them because they always have something with us. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you, Commissioner, Santiago, and Commissioner Bass. You said, you good now? All right, your questions was answered. All right.
Big meeting.
Huh?
We have a big meeting.
Give me a long list, right? Any other questions for Mr. Anderson or the manager at this time? All right. Madam Clerk, call the question, please.
Commissioner Irvin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago,
I want the money, yes.
and Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0, first reading.
All right, moving on to item 16, was that 82?
Yes, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, repealing ordinance 07-03 of the City of Opa-locka's Code of Ordinances, providing for severability, conflict and repealer, and providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the interim city manager.
All right, can I get a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Irvin, seconded by Commissioner Bass. Madam Manager, go ahead and present, and then we'll open up for public hearing.
The 2025 Employee Handbook has been adopted. Administration recommends that this ordinance be repealed, and the corresponding language referencing the previous policies and procedures and regulations to ensure the revised handbook is the governing manual citywide. I'm sorry, I also have our HR director here and our city attorney, should you have additional questions on this item.
Okay. This is public hearing item. Public hearing is open. Public hearing is closed. All right, do we have any questions for my HR director or the manager at this moment?
No.
Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Vice Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin,
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0, first reading.
All right, moving on to item 16B1.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, amending Article 4 entitled Personnel, Division 2, adding new Section 2-222 to be entitled Extra Compensation Beyond State Statutory Limits, providing a definition for cause, and prohibiting severance pay to charter officers or other employees where the individual is terminated for cause, prohibiting severance pay, bonus pay, extra compensation, and additional payment to any chartered officer of the city after services have been rendered or after a contract has been executed, unless authorized by Florida law or a majority vote of the city commission, providing for statutory required language to be included within future employment agreements, providing for certain severance payment terms and conditions as consistent with Florida law, forgiving any payment made inconsistent with the terms of this ordinance prior to and including calendar year 2022, providing for conflict and repealer, severability, inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date. The first reading public hearing was held on June 11th, 2025. This item is sponsored by Mayor Taylor.
Can I get a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Santiago, second by Commissioner Bass. I'll go ahead and present. This item is to cure finding number 49 that came up in our 99 findings. Simply put, that if a manager or one of our charter officers is fired with cause, it states it as well as without cause. We don't pay any extra compensation outside of what the state law allows or unless voted on by this commission. So that's why this is here. So this is a public hearing item. Public hearing is open. Public hearing is closed. At this moment, I entertain any questions or concerns. If not, then we'll call for the question.
Commissioner Santiago,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Mr. Mayor, why we changing the language? Now we calling for name? It's not calling for both.
16B2.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, amending Article 6 of the city's purchasing code to create new Section 2-325 to be entitled Establishing Contractual Service Controls, providing for greater monitoring and enforcement of terms and conditions of contracts to ensure that contract deliverables are provided, allowing for payment of contractual deposits when authorized, providing for severability, conflict and repealer, inclusion in the code, providing for an effective date. The first reading public hearing was held on June 11th, 2025. This item is sponsored by Mayor Taylor.
Can I get a motion?
Move it.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Santiago, second by Commissioner Irvin. And again, this is another one of our findings that we're trying to cure. This just gives us contractual controls that before we pay out, we make sure that the work is done based on the RFP, RFQ that went out and the contract. We don't pay out until we make sure that the work is done, simply put. This is a public hearing item. I open up for public hearing at this time. Public hearing is open. Public hearing is closed. At this moment, I entertain any questions. Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, moving on to item 16B3.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, amending Chapter 2, Article 1, Section 2-8.4 of the City of Opa-locka's Code of Ordinances to provide an option for the City Commission to establish a search committee or appoint by majority vote a city manager, city attorney, or city clerk, providing for a local and/or national search at the option of the City Commission, providing for conflict and repealer, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. First reading public hearing was held on June 11th, 2025. This item is sponsored by Mayor Taylor.
Can I get a motion?
Move it.
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Bass, second by Commissioner Santiago.
Thank you.
Again, this is secure another finding, which is finding number 78, which allows, pretty much says that the commission has 3 ways to hire a city manager, either by majority vote, appointment, or national or local search, or via a search committee, of which all we have done in the past. I just want to, this item just pretty much says that this is what we can do legally.
Right.
So this is just curing that finding. So this is public hearing item. Public hearing is open. Public hearing is closed. At this moment, I entertain any question on this item. All right, hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Oh, yes.
Commissioner Irvin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly,
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago,
I love it. Yes.
Commissioner Baz.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, moving on to our last item, item 16B4.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, amending Article 11, Division 5, entitled Civil Service Board, specifically Section 2-526, to specify that the Civil Service Board shall have the power to recommend on matters through hearing from city employees at a properly notice meeting, amending Section 2-530 to amend the role of the Human Resources Director, amending Section 2-534 to clarify definitions for classified and unclassified service, amending Section 2-535 to delete certain inapplicable responsibilities of the Human Resources Director, amending Section 2-536 to delete the word officers for hire vacancies, amending Section 2-537 to delete certain inapplicable timelines, amending Section 2-539 to remove penalties, amending Section 2-541 to specify persons exempt from tests, deleting and replacing old Section 2-542 with new language to specify that in the case of conflict, collective bargaining agreement shall prevail over this ordinance, providing for repeal of all prior ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. The first reading public hearing was held on June 11th, 2025. This item is sponsored by Vice Mayor Kelly.
All right, can I get a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Kelly.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Santiago. Vice Mayor Kelly?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the second reading. As we know, the Civil Service Board was reestablished back in 18. This really kind of codifies and defines the duties and powers of the board going forward so that our employees would have somewhere to go with their challenges. I'll say it like that. I made the speech on it last meeting, so last time, so I won't go through all the details. I just would also say that as a part of this board, and I know the manager, attorney, and clerk are still working on the whole boards to bring it back. But again, with this one, I like for it to be the same way, that it coincides with commission terms. Whenever y'all bring it all back, because this is one of the boards that's going to be established too. And I know we're reestablishing their duties and powers, but it needs to run with the terms. And right now, I don't think there's no board there anyway, so it's got to be reappointed anyway. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
This is a public hearing item. Public hearing is open. Public hearing is closed. Madam Attorney?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have a typo in section 2-526 under powers and duties. It's number 3, and it should read 25 days rather than 20. And so that's the difference. And we've the sponsor is aware of this as well. So we will make the change if you all approve it with 25 days rather than 20 once it is finalized.
Okay, so I'm assuming we would need to vote on that change because it's a significant change. All right.
Move the amendment.
So the amendment was moved by Vice Mayor Kelly.
Second.
Second on the amendment, Madam Clerk. I'm sorry, who's second? Commissioner Bass. Second the amendment to change it from 20 to 25 days. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Santiago,
Yes.
Commissioner Baz, Commissioner Irvin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly,
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 on the amendment.
Okay, there aren't any questions. If there aren't any questions or concerns to the sponsor, we can go ahead and call the question.
Vice Mayor Kelly,
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago,
Yes.
Commissioner Baz.
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin,
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, moving on to our city manager's report. Madam Manager, you have the floor.
Good evening. I did submit a written report to the city commission. However, I would like to just apologize to the commission for canceling the budget workshop, but the reasoning behind that is I felt as we were, as staff, we were just throwing the budget at you and you were going to see it or hear about it for the first time in a workshop. And I wanted to be able to speak with you all individually, go over the budget and hear your concerns or your desires for the upcoming budget, then schedule the workshop. So that was the reason for the individual meetings. And after I have those meetings, we will go ahead and schedule the actual workshop. And I'll take any questions or concerns you may have at this time.
All right, any questions or concerns
Yes,
to the manager at this
Mayor.
moment? Commissioner Santiago?
Thank you. Well, what I can see in your report, Madam Manager, I love it. I like it. The first thing that I enjoyed today is the 14 student in the building. Oh my God, I take them to my office and they enjoying it out there in the fourth floor. And it's something good to see that we do something for our teenagers here in the great city of Opa-locka. The only thing that I want to be sure is that everybody that participating in that program, please, I want today be a resident for the great city of Opa-locka. But that beautiful group of young people are enjoying it, and I think that's something good, and that's made me uh still believe that you're doing a great job, okay, for our community. Um, the other one that I that I see, what is it? I see something good too, and in your report, everything is so good that you working in the canals and you working, to beautify the city. All this program, they really made me be sure that we doing the right thing in the city. Um, building a license. Wow, I'm surprised with that department, the money that they collecting in only 1 month. Only 1 month. Yeah, that's something that made me see that we had some progress.
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, wow, it's something that we have some progress there. That we try to do the best when everybody here in the great city of Opa-locka telling the business people that they have to apply, that they have to be compliant with everything that we asking, and they're not gonna have no problem. That's a good amount of money, and 154,000, almost $155,000 in 2 weeks. That's a great number. Very, 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 very great number. Also, I want to say, we be talking about all the situation with the flooding around the city, and I have a very good report today too about that we're gonna need initiate the work out there behind the bank. Yes, the area needed. And I think that's one of the beautiful projects that you have. Madam Manager, keep and do the good job that you do, please. And I'm sorry to call you Madam Manager. I don't like the other one, but I love to call you Madam Manager always. Just keep doing the good job for the city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other concerns to Madam Manager? Questions?
Mr. Mayor, I have
Um,
a few concerns, but I would meet with you one-on-one.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm not happy right now.
All right.
My
Um,
script just got messed up, that's all.
All right, so I guess I'll take up
That's a strong lady.
I'll take up the rear. Madam Manager, the only concern that I have, or question that I have, 133rd Street, that is, where is that? Where's this project?
Which one you? Come on, come on, come
The,
on.
It's
Ms. Gross is going to give.
the
yes.
underground utility installation and proximity.
That's by Romos.
Oh,
That's
huh?
by Romos.
Oh, that's okay.
Yes.
'Cause
yeah.
when you said 133rd, I'm thinking 132nd, which is right behind in front of the bank. I got
Good
excited.
evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Adelina Gross, CIP Division Manager. May
I was
may-
praying that it was a misprint, but go ahead.
So the Northwest 133rd Street is the sewer extension. We are replacing the line, adding the laterals, and that project at this moment is at 75%. We are currently working during the night, so we are working to complete it without the traffic.
Okay, the industrial area.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. All right. So then my next question, I think you answered this before, but I'm not sure, about 132nd Street from in front of
Mary Alice,
Mary Alice. Thank you, Mary Alice. Oh, Mary.
Mary Alice Brown,
We have-
that's,
we had
that
an item on the
legislation
agenda.
passed on the last commission meeting. And
No, I
so
got it. When is it gonna start?
we are waiting for the budget amendment
But-
resolution to be in place and contracts to be signed.
All right, and then the last one, the Ingram Terrace, which I know is a county property.
131st? Oh, yeah. 131st Street is currently under design. We are working with the county due to some contamination that is in the area and to address it properly. And once we we have an assessment on the contamination, we are going to the permit phase. As part of the county support for that project, they are providing partial funding for design and partial funding for construction.
Partial funding?
Partial funding.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, that's interesting. All right, thank you, Madam Manager. All right, so I guess we're moving on to our mayor and commission report. No. Is that the next item? We have no official board reports at this moment. I don't see any chairs here. So our mayor and commission reports, we'll start from right to left. Madam, Commissioner Irvin?
Thank you. I want to say thank you to Vice Mayor Kelly for the roundtable discussion regarding Juneteenth. It was very nice. I happen to know all the speakers or the speakers. And I think the thing that I enjoyed the most, sometimes when we're fighting for things, we don't realize how long it's been that we've been fighting. And I reminded Commissioner Jordan that in 2018 or 2017, I went to her office and because I saw so many parks and recs and Miami Gardens being done. And here was Opa-locka, and we needed a playground set. And I told her, I said, you explained to me. She did, took her time and said, well, that's only county parks. And well, my park needed too. And she said, maybe you should run for office and see what you get. But I told her, I took pride in telling her that it took a while, but we finally got our playground set at Tribundy. So if you go from 2017 to now, that's been a long time. But it was very nice. I enjoyed the dialogue amongst the guests, and it was really nice. Also, as you all may know, that we're preparing, maybe you've seen our posters around the city, advertising that we are preparing for the 4th of July. And simply said, bring your barbecue grills, your families, your games, come out. We'll provide the entertainment. We have the pool, we have the water sides coming. Come out, fill up our pool with a great vibe. I'm sorry, our park with a great vibe to enjoy the holiday and wait for nightfall so that we can all enjoy the fireworks that we're going to be privileged to see. Also, we know that bingo is this Friday at 6 p.m. Kings and Queens. So come on out, enjoy that activity with us. On Friday, we also celebrated two things. Thanks again to Vice Mayor Kelly for meeting with the kids and educating the kids on Juneteenth. It was interesting. It was an interesting yet educational event. And thanks for Parks and Rec for getting the kids over there to us. And also we had our Juneteenth celebration Friday night. It was nice. I won't get into too many details of that, but for those of us that actually RSVP'd and showed up, we had a nice time. Thank you for doing that. And I want to say thank you to the ladies that came out for Father's Day and helped us to serve the Father's Day lunch. And I hope the fathers enjoyed their Father's Day. And then the last thing is, as we all know, that today I am supporting my brothers and sisters in the Pride community as they celebrate Pride Month this month. Thank you. I think I don't have nothing else to say. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Kelly?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Um, I, along with all of us, really, the Ingham Park basketball ribbon cutting on early this month, the 12th. The courts are wonderful. They are done. I'm planning now a 3-on-3 basketball tournament out there um, in the near future. But I'm glad to see the courts are up. I attended the Father's Day picnic. Thank you, Commissioner Irvin, and all those who assisted. It was a great time, great meal, and I actually got to meet some of our new employees that I didn't even know worked for the city. So I want to thank you for that. As you mentioned, our Juneteenth awareness that is really by the whole commission, but we had the opportunity to host it, Commissioner Irvin and I, for our youth learning about the history and really not only Juneteenth, but just history about Opa-locka. I want to thank Commissioner Bass and Commissioner Urban for stopping by and adding their reflections. We also gave out gift cards for the top three paintings by our young people. I was hoping they would have been there tonight, but I forgot about it. But we're going to have those highlighted as well. I attended the Juneteenth dinner that was hosted by Commissioner Urban, and I want to just say she didn't say she's going to get details. I'll go into details. It was a great opportunity showcasing the city in Juneteenth. A lot of folks RSVP didn't show up, but for those that did, it was very well. And when we do RSVP, you need to RSVP if you're coming. If you're not, don't do it because that's an economic impact. But I want her to know that it was very well. Keep your head up, and when you're going to do something, you do it with pride and honor, and that's all you could do. Can't make folks come. You just do it. So I was glad to be there, and I know those that were there enjoyed it as well. And then we culminated our city Juneteenth celebration with our community dialogue at Historic City Hall on that Saturday, 12 noon, with former Representative Bush, Commissioner Jordan, and Mayor Riley. An inspiring afternoon, hearing about history from history. That's what I said, hearing about it from history. I want to thank Commissioner Irvin and Commissioner Santiago for being there and offering their insights and thoughts as well. And to Madam Manager, because I really don't use the ICM title either. Madam Manager, I want to tell you that was a great presentation by your staff with the pictures. I don't know individually who all, I'll just say your staff, from Parks and Rec to IT, all of them, in putting the videos together to all the things on the easels, to Parks and Rec, with the kids being there, all the refreshments, every facet of it was first class. It was first class. And I had people that were not there but actually saw it on videos or whatever, very impressed. Part of me got upset because I wanted to say to them, Commissioner Irvin, you don't think we know how to do things first class in Opa-locka? Yes, we do. Must be don't know who our mayor is. I don't get into that. But anyway, but trying to lighten the moment. But all of the departments, from the police to clerk's office, especially helping out Parks and Rec and the director, made our Juneteenth a memorable one. We got to just hopefully next year increase the budget for some of that educational opportunity, but it was great. We also on last Friday hosted our Feeding South Florida distribution and resource fair, of course, along with all the food items, which were numerous and great. I want to thank my colleagues for stopping by, Commissioner Santiago and Commissioner Irvin and Commissioner Bass as well. I know the mayor couldn't make it, but thank him for his support as well. And all of the staff that make it possible, and to Public Works and Mr. K and his staff, because I know we had a few hiccups with tents and tables, but they made it work. So I want to commend them publicly for that as well. We had the DMV there. We had Project Umbrella with various services. We had 10 North there with housing assistance, and our own HR providing information for job opportunities. And of course, the way we do our fairs, our resource fairs, we don't do them every month. So the next one won't be held really until August. Won't be held until August, but it was a great opportunity again, not only with the food, but to bring resources to our community that can help our citizens here in Opa-locka. I, of course, want to mention a couple of things upcoming. Of course, our farm share will be July 2nd at Shabandi. We didn't have it last month because of the weather. There will be no Meet Me Monday in July. No Meet Me Monday in July. No Meet Me Monday in July because there's a certain birthday on July the 13th. And I'll leave it at that. So there's no Meet Me Monday in July. We're still asking, and Madam Manager, I need to get that number from you as well. Anyone interested in the CERT training, to please call the clerk's office. The dates for it is July 10th, 11th, and the 26th at the Helen Miller Center. As I mentioned before, an opportunity for you to learn how to be able to assist in the event of a hurricane or a natural disaster. So if you're listening, tuned in, and that's something you like to take those classes and be a part of, it is free. Just have to make the commitment for the time for those 3 dates, July 10th, 11th, and the 26th. Also, our family fishing tournament, because we couldn't do it in Father's Day time, is going to be July the 19th from 9 a.m. to 12 noon at Ingram Park, the lakefront. So it's not just limited to fathers. Commissioner Bass, I know you was anxious to fish, so now you come on out on July 19th and see if you can outdo the mayor, because he's still trying to figure out how to bait that hook. Uh, but everyone is invited to that. And of course, on July the 18th, this is really a spinoff when the mayor had all of the new officials in. We're going to be hosting the clerk of the courts here in the city of Opa-locka, their mobile unit that offers services from collecting court fees for felony and misdemeanors and parking related payment plans for those things, reinstatement of driver's license for traffic citation, affidavits for reinstatement, whole lot of different services that the clerk of the court mobile unit provides. July the 18th at Helen Miller from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We do have flyers, and I think it's posted on our website. We're hosting that July the 18th, so please pass the word for those who may be interested in that as well. The last thing that I will mention, we supported the mayor in the taking it to the community, the government services. Couldn't stay for the whole thing, but we supported that as well. And we're looking forward to later in July. You hear more about it. And I was kind of not thinking about it, but some of the scenes even reminded me. Our family car space tournament that'll be at Helen Miller. So look forward to that as well. Mr. Mayor, I think that's about it for the moment. Again, thank you very much to all my colleagues for your continued support. We're doing things, and that's the way we get it done, working together. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, Commissioner Santiago.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, I'd like to start to say first, thank you to Commissioner Bass for that event that we have in the basketball in Shabandi. I really enjoying it because I beat Vice Mayor Kelly. We pass a very wonderful time out there together with all these kids. We have even, my son there playing and Vice Mayor son, and we're really enjoying the afternoon there all together. That's something beautiful to see, that the community getting together and we enjoying our park facility. Also, I want to say thank you. Thank you for to the manager for have so wonderful park and recreation director. I can see a lot of progress in that park yesterday. I'm be inviting to an event for one of the biggest community here, the Paraguayan community in Ingram Park. And let me tell you that 90% of them, they have so great view and so great opinion about that part that they feel like they are in their own country out there. A lot of people say, and I'm gonna say that I never see no bathroom in any part here in Dade County to smelling so good. What a clean facility that we have. Thank you, Madam Director, for the part, because that's a really something that we have to say, the way that they take care of public out there and the way that they take care of the opera. It's going to be great things in the future for that facility. And I want to say thank you to my colleague. I'm going to start in for the first person they appear there to support that community, and people like him, to be, take picture with him and everything. And that's Vice Mayor Joseph Kelly, that he go and pass by, and people that get so happy to see, the elected official, they care about people, about the community. Also, I want to say thank you to the mayor of the great city of Opa-locka, Juicy. Ah, he loved that. He loved that name. Yeah, everybody receiving him yesterday. You see, you see, you see. Yeah. And my colleague, Commissioner Dr. Charlene Bass, we enjoying it. I can say, hey, we need more men here, because women, they win all the time. Yeah, woman, they win. She beat us in the what is that? That race. Oh my God, man! I fell down. I don't know what happened to him, but she's the big winner. She's the big winner yesterday. Thank you very much. We enjoying it. That picnic yesterday, everything be so beautiful, in order, wonderful, and we also sharing with all the community they are around. They so happy people. We attending them. They just come eat with us. That's beautiful. A very beautiful event for that community. And thank you, all my colleagues, to supporting that beautiful community for Paraguay. Also, let me tell you, uh, I want to say thank you to Vice Mayor Kelly for that event on Saturday, the round table. Let me say that I really enjoying it. I really enjoying it because one of my point is to go there and learn about our history and learn about things that I don't even know that happened in the past. One of the things that I learned that 3 monuments in Washington, if I don't make a mistake, is be the idea for one of our people. And it's incredible. He made so wonderful that the day in line, that 3 monuments. I think that's the Washington Monument, the White House, and the Capitol Palace. No, the Congress, the day in line. You forgot. I'm done. But I see that's good to learn, and that's what I want to say. Thank you, thank you very much, Vice Mayor Kelly. You really bring things here to the city to make people be involved in our community and learn about things that we don't know. That when we go out there, we more have to know what is real we have here in the great city of Opa-locka and our history in the past. Um, Thank you also for last Friday for the DMB program that you have, Vice Mayor. We're really enjoying, and a lot of people for the residential area, they have benefits that they can go there with no lines and no hassle. Okay, to get back the license or to renew the license. That's a wonderful program for everybody here in the great city of Opa-locka. I like to say, Madam Irving, Commissioner Irving, hey, I enjoy that party. Okay, for Juneteenth. I never be involved before in any event from Juneteenth. Now, when I started in November, I don't even know that happened here in Opa-locka. But let me tell you, the whole week we have an event, and I'm enjoying it, and I learn, and I know, and I found out that we have a wonderful mayor too that he's dancing a lot. He's a dance. We call him the dancing mayor that night. Well, we dancing in Opa-locka.
But he can't win the sack race. I don't know.
That's good, and I think I have everything that I say tonight, but I really want to say it again. Thank you to all my colleagues to support all the time this beautiful community of the great city of Opa-locka, and I think that we're going in the right way, in the right track to make that city better every day that is passed. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Bass?
I don't have much to say because,
I forgot something that you had to say about
okay, okay.
Domino's.
Domino's and chess will be canceled due to the Fourth of July weekend celebrations. So we will not be having chess and Domino's. And not to say what have already been said, but I totally enjoyed my whole weekend working for the people in the great city of Opa-locka. And it's good to see the camaraderie with us, working together, supporting each other. Let's continue to do so.
Mr.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I may,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Bass, can we, for the 4th of July picnic, can we bring out the chess and dominoes, that day?
Of course.
So it's not canceled, just be on the 4th of July.
All right.
Okay,
And we can add some, music.
yeah. Look,
I'm about,
Daddy
I'm about
Yankee,
to
right?
mute your mic. You said enough. All right, so we'll bring it home, and then that way we can get up out of here. Couple things, I don't want to restate it. The event all weekend were perfect. It was perfect. Thank you for having it. Thank you for sponsoring it and pushing it forward. But say it again. Should make not paying overtime to the committee.
Oh, and Mr. Mayor, I have a package there that they give me today. This is the first flyer that's coming out tomorrow morning to a lot of places, business places. They're gonna be there, okay, for 4th of July.
All right. So thank you to Madam Manager and the directors that came out for our City Hall on Wheels. Very impactful and very informative and helpful to our residents in that area. We'll keep it going and we'll let you know where our next stop is. Last but not least, we got some good news, but we're gonna need your prayers and support on this. So as you're aware, myself, our city manager, our finance director, and our CIP manager have been going back and forth to Tallahassee and also been on various calls with Tallahassee advocating for the city of Opa-locka. And one of the things that we advocated for was drinking water to improve our drinking water. So I just want to say that, and the other thing was, and I've been advocating for this since I've been here, is to digitize our city with a new ERP system. So far, the city of Opa-locka has been awarded both, but we just need your prayers that the governor signs off on it. We got $300,000 for our drinking water improvement phase 1 and $700,000 for our Tyler technology to improve our finance department and to digitize our city. So we got it so far. I just wanted to make that announcement, and we are excited. We are excited. And I know you see the finance director's face, and me and the manager are relieved because if we take one more call, we have been working for this. We've been working for the city, and our work has not gone in vain. So, but we also want to thank our partners in the state, which is our state Representative Ashley Gant and our state Senator Chevron Jones, as well as other people that have been helping us, and are still trying to help us. But we need your prayers, Opa-locka, because we need this to be approved for our city. So that's the only thing Bass said we're gonna touch and agree. So hey, you ain't gotta fight out of me. So that's the good news. So we are excited about that. So I have no other announcements. Everybody said everything. We're moving on to our official board appointments. The only thing we have on here, the agenda, is the 2 at-large appointments. If anybody is ready,
Or,
the charter,
um,
no? Okay. And I believe that you already met, right, Madam Clerk? Yeah, City Clerk is shaking her
Yes,
head.
Mr. Mayor.
All right. So this meeting, can I get a motion?
move it.
Second.
I didn't even get it out. This meeting is adjourned. Have a great night, you all.